ज्ञान पाए ज्ञान नै रोज्ने नयाँ गुड नाइट फ्ल्याश अरु लिक्विड वेपोराइजर भन्दा 2 गुणा बढी प्रभावशाली.
Proud to be associated with Kantipur News.
Good evening, I am April Singlama and these are the headlines of the hour. India and Pakistan agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire following cross-border hostilities. US mediates overnight negotiations to broker peace agreement. Finance Minister Vishnu Paudel says plans and programs included in the budget for the upcoming fiscal year will undergo extensive revisions to make the budget actionable and results-oriented. Smuggling of vape surged in recent years with organized groups actively orchestrating illegal import. More than 100,000 vapes confiscated by authorities in recent time. And Cricket Association of Nepal appoints Dipender Singh Airi as the vice-captain of the national cricket team. A 15-member squad announced for the Tri-Nation Series between Scotland and the Netherlands in June. Welcome back. India and Pakistan have agreed to an immediate ceasefire following extended US-mediated negotiations. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs announced that the ceasefire will take effect at 5 p.m. local time. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri stated that the agreement was reached following a phone call between the Director Generals of Military Operations of both countries covering a halt to hostilities by land, air and sea. He added that further talks are scheduled for Monday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very brief statement to make. Following that, as you know, there will be a briefing by my colleagues from the military. The Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called the Director General of Military Operations of India at 15:35 hours earlier this afternoon. It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect from 1700 hours Indian Standard Time today. Instructions have been given on both sides to give effect to this understanding. The Directors General of Military Operations will talk again on the 12th of May at 1200 hours. Thank you.
The Indian Ministry of Defence in a press briefing confirmed the ceasefire agreement and stated that the army has fulfilled its responsibilities.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the Foreign Secretary had said, you're aware there's an understanding that has been reached to stop all military activities at sea, on the air and on the land. And the Indian Navy, Indian Army and the Indian Air Force have been instructed to adhere to this understanding.
Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar announced via social media that Pakistan and India have agreed to an immediate ceasefire. He emphasized Pakistan's long-standing commitment to regional peace and security. Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's firm stance against terrorism. Earlier, US President Donald Trump also confirmed the ceasefire agreement on social media, commending both nations for their prudence and cooperation. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio welcomed the development, noting that both parties had agreed to engage in dialogue at a neutral venue. The ceasefire follows high-level talks mediated by the United States over the past 48 hours, involving US Vice President J.D. Vance, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and other senior officials. Tensions escalated after a deadly attack in Pahalgam, India on April 22nd, which killed 26 tourists, including a Nepalese national. In response, India launched airstrikes on Pakistan and Pakistan-administrated Kashmir under Operation Sindoor. According to the Pakistani military, 33 people were killed and 66 injured, while Indian casualties have not been disclosed. Now, the India and Pakistan have agreed to an immediate ceasefire following US-brokered negotiations, easing tensions after recent missile exchanges. The ceasefire, effective from 5 p.m. local time, covers hostilities by land, air and sea, with further diplomatic talks scheduled for Monday. The two nations share a long history of conflict.
In the past, the two countries have fought 3 major wars along with numerous regional conflicts. Apart from the 1971 war, which led to the creation of Bangladesh, all other wars, conflicts and military tensions have centered around the issue of Kashmir. India, formerly a British colony, gained independence in 1947 and was divided into Muslim-majority Pakistan and Hindu-majority India. The Indian Independence Act, passed by the British Parliament, allowed for the division of princely states, including Kashmir, and provided the option for Kashmir to either join India, Pakistan, or remain independent. Before the partition of India and Pakistan, there were 584 princely states. The then Maharaja Hari Singh of Kashmir, wanting to keep the region independent, decided to accede to India in October 1947 under the condition that India would help defend Kashmir from the invading Pakistani Muslim tribes. This decision led to the first war between India and Pakistan over Kashmir. The war lasted for more than a year, and after intervention by the United Nations, a ceasefire was established, with each country controlling portions of Kashmir. The UN proposed a plebiscite to decide the future of Kashmir, but no agreement was reached. In July 1949, both countries signed a ceasefire agreement and established the Line of Control, LOC, dividing the Kashmir region. India controlled more than half of Kashmir, while Pakistan controlled about a third. Approximately 15% of Kashmir is controlled by China. However, both India and Pakistan claimed the entire region of Kashmir as their own. After the War of 1947, another war broke out in 1965 between the two countries, again over the issue of Kashmir. In 1999, a limited and regional conflict known as the Kargil War took place. Since then, there have been numerous tensions, conflicts, and clashes, mostly centered around Kashmir. In India-administered Kashmir, an armed insurgency against Indian rule began in 1989, resulting in thousands of casualties. India has repeatedly accused Pakistan of supporting the militants in Kashmir, while Pakistan has consistently denied these allegations. Likewise, India has accused Pakistan of supporting terrorist groups such as Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, who have been involved in attacks in Kashmir and other parts of India. Pakistan, in turn, has denied these accusations. In the past decade, key events include the Uri attack in 2016, which killed 19 Indian soldiers. In response, India conducted surgical strikes across the line of control, targeting what it described as terrorist camps. In 2019, following the Pulwama attack, in which more than 40 Indian paramilitary soldiers were killed in a bombing, India carried out airstrikes in Balakot, Pakistan. While both of these surgical strikes initially escalated tensions, the situation later calmed down. After nearly 6 years of comparative peace, tensions between India and Pakistan escalated again on 22nd of April when a terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Kashmir, killed 26 people, causing the tensions to reach a new high.
Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Bishnu Paudel has stated that plans and programs included in the budget for the upcoming fiscal year 2082-83 will undergo extensive revisions to make the budget actionable and results-oriented. During a pre-budget discussion on budget efficiency and the real budget organized by the Nepal Economic Journalists Society, Finance Minister Paudel emphasized that the prioritization of plans will be done taking into account the challenging resource situation. He also pointed out that there are issues within the budget system itself and made it clear that some interventionist policies will be adopted to address these problems.
हामीले कुशलता प्रदर्शित गर्नुपर्ने, रियलिस्टिक हुनुपर्ने, अनुशासनतिर फर्किनुपर्ने र हाम्रा चाहिँ असीमित दायित्वलाई चाहिँ प्राथमिकीकरण गर्नुपर्ने, चाहे त्यो चाहिँ पूर्वाधार निर्माणको प्रश्नमा होस् वा अरू प्रश्नमा होस्, प्राथमिकीकरण गर्नुपर्ने, प्राथमिकताको आधारमा विनियोजन गर्दै जानुपर्ने त्यो चाहिँ ठाउँमा छौं। म त्यही कोसिस गर्दैछु।
In his paper presentation at the event, former Chief Secretary Dr. Boykunta Aryal mentioned that there are problems in various stages of the budget cycle, including budget formulation, allocation, implementation, monitoring and evaluation. Over the past 13 years, the average expenditure in the recurrent budget category has been 84.76%, in the capital expenditure category 67.80%, and in the financial management category 81.52%. Participants pointed out that there are issues in budget formulation, a lack of efficiency in allocation, excessive demand compared to available resources, and a tendency to request budget for projects that have not been studied or meet the prerequisites for implementation. As a result, they said budget allocation efficiency has not been maintained. Participants suggested that the budget should be more realistic and focused on implementation. It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you what is the reason behind differing claims on financial status of Nepal Electricity Authority. 45% voted for A, extreme politicization, 19% voted for B, individuals dominating institutions, and 36% voted for C, needs an independent audit. Now, here's today's question. What's your take on Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's remark that forest expansion is unnecessary in Nepal? Your options are A, needs thorough study, B, forest expansion is beneficial, or C, use forest effectively. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. Some 2 years ago, it was revealed that gold was being smuggled in electronic cigarettes or vapes imported from the United Arab Emirates. That raised curiosity regarding the users there are in Kathmandu. The incident also uncovered the existence of an organized network for vape smuggling in Nepal. The Revenue Investigation Department is currently continuing its investigation, having seized more than 100,000 vapes in their warehouse.
In large cities like Kathmandu, the use of vapes or electronic cigarettes has been increasing among the youth over the past few years. And now the Department of Revenue Investigation is facing confusion over the issue. In the Nepalese month of Magh, the department seized 86,000 vapes from a single warehouse in Lalitpur. The question of whether these vapes were illegally brought into Nepal from a single warehouse has put pressure on the department. According to officers involved in the investigation, these vapes from China were not only brought to Kathmandu for local consumption. The operator of the warehouse was also made to pay a deposit of 200 million Nepali rupees. The investigation is still ongoing. The department suspects that those who can afford such a large deposit might be involved in smuggling vapes from Nepal to India. It has also been revealed that Mustang is being used as a route for importing vapes from China. About a month ago, 19,000 vapes were seized from a vehicle coming through the Mustang border. 4 separate investigations into vape smuggling are ongoing, with more than 117,000 vapes of various values in the department's possession.
पत्लै कार्यालयमा चाहिँ एउटा 4000 पिसको व्यवहारिसी अवस्थामा देखिएको भेप छ। अर्को चाहिँ तपाईको सरलाईमा चाहिँ एउटा सशस्त्रको इन्स्पेक्टर पनि मरेको थियो त्यो बसले किच्दाखेरि। त्यसमा भेप भेटिएको थियो 1500 पिस थियो। भनेपछि त्यहाँ 5500 पिस चाहिँ त्यहाँ अनुसन्धानको क्रममा रहेको छ। अनि बुटोल कार्यालयमा 2600 पिसको चाहिँ 1 करोड 24 लाख बिगो कायम गरेर एउटा मुद्दै दायर गरिसक्नु हो उहाँहरूले र अर्को एउटा 4000 पिसको अनुसन्धानको क्रममा हुनुहुन्छ। केही नाकाहरूमा मैले बुझे अनुसारले भेप आएर त्यहाँ चाहिँ गोदाममा बसेको अवस्था पनि देखिन्छ र त्यसलाई हामी अलिकति छलफलकै क्रममा पनि छौं। भन्सार विभाग वाणिज्य मन्त्रालयसँग समन्वय गरेर हैन अब यदि यसलाई चाहिँ अब जाँचपास गर्न मिल्ने हो भन्सारले अब लिलाम गर्ने हो भने राज्यलाई अलि ठुलै राजस्व आउने भेप मसँग वास्तवमा गोदाममा छ।
Although vapes are referred to as electronic cigarettes, the Ministry of Health has imposed a ban on their use in Nepal. Strict measures have also been implemented on imports, and customs officers have not cleared these shipments. However, at the same time, it appears that gangs involved in smuggling vapes from China to India have become active. Since vapes which have serious health impacts are being excessively used by Nepali youths, officials argue that a law needs to be made to control their usage.
र खास गरी अब चाइनैबाट आउने हो भेप हैन। अब विभिन्न चाहिँ तस्करीको माध्यम पुरा गरेर अब कहिलेकाहीँ अब चाहिँ मालवस्तु पास गर्ने र त्यस्तै कन्टेनर मिसाएर पनि लिएर आउने थोरै थोरै क्वान्टिटीमा भन्सार बिन्दुभन्दा दायाँ बायाँबाट पनि लिएर आउने त्यस्ता किसिमका कुराहरू पनि देखिया छन् हैन। अनि कोही ड्राइभरहरूले चाहिँ अब आफ्नै सिटमा हालेर ल्याएको केस पनि हामीले केही समय चाहिँ अगाडि त्यो पनि देखियो। तपाईको चाहिँ तातो पानीबाट आएका दुईटा गाडीमा त्यसरी त्यो पनि हामीले एउटा मुद्दा दायर गर्यौं। एउटा चाहिँ बाँकी छ भनेपछि अलिकति एउटा संगठित हिसाबले नै अब भेपको कारोबार भएको हो कि देखिन्छ अलिकति ठूलो संख्या देखिँदाखेरि चाहिँ।
There is no specific data on how many people are using vapes in Nepal. Not much information exists about how much they are being consumed or the quality of vapes available in the market. However, since large-scale gold smuggling was done using vapes 2 years ago, many questions have been raised. This suggests that a detailed investigation is needed not only into the individuals bringing in vapes, but also into the illegal market for vapes in the country.
In our Public Voice segment, we have asked in several provinces, what is your view on the ongoing confusion between Congress and UMO over the governor's appointment, which is hindering effective governance? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
मेरो मान्छे राख भनेर चाहिँ एउटाले चाहिँ प्रेस गरिरहा होला, अर्काले मेरो चाहिन्छ यो मान्छे राख्नुपर्छ भनेर प्रेस गरिरहा होला, त्यही आधारमा चाहिँ कुरो नमिल्या हो।
निर्विवाद रूपमा चाहिँ तपाईको के रे गभर्नर नियुक्ति गर्नुपर्छ, पार्टीको ट्याग लगाएर होइन, राम्रो मान्छे स्वच्छ मान्छे।
दुई दल चाहिँ गभर्नर नियुक्तिमै यसरी पछाडी पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब एक हिसाबको जनतामा जुन आशा थियो त्यो चाहिँ निराश बनिरहेको छ।
राजनीतिक दलहरुको असफलता
एकजनाबाट भएको हुनाले कांग्रेसबाट राख्ने कि एमालेबाट राख्ने भन्नेमा अब यो लुछाटानी छ।
भागबण्डा मिलाछौं, कोठामा बसेर मिलाछौं भन्ने कुरा हो र यो त के ओपन फोरमबाट छान्नु पर्यो कि कम्पिटिसनबाट ल्याउनु पर्यो कि जे गरे पनि कसलाई बनाउने भन्ने त पहिले निर्णय हुनु पर्यो नि।
कुनै राजनीति नगरिकन जो सक्षम व्यक्ति छ उसलाई चाहिँ गभर्नर नियुक्ति गर्नुपर्ने हो। त्यो चाहिँ हुन नसक्नु देशको लागि दुर्भाग्य हो।
जुन राजनीतिक भागबण्डाको रूपमा हेरिएको छ यो चाहिँ राम्रो हो।
राइट मैन राइट प्लेस भनेर डिसिजन हुनु पर्थ्यो, तर त्यो चाहिँ हुन नसकिरहेको अवस्था छ। यो राष्ट्रको लागि एकदम दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण हो।
गभर्नर बनाइसकेको नियुक्ति गरिसकेपछि उले कति बुझाउने सरकारलाई त्यही कुरामा मिल्यो।
क्षमतावान र निष्ठावान व्यक्तिहरूलाई चाहिँ गभर्नरमा नियुक्ति गरिनुपर्छ।
सक्षम व्यक्ति खोजी गर्नको लागि चाहिँ यो प्रक्रिया चाहिँ अगाडि अलिअलि विलम्ब भएको।
घर भित्रै झगडा गरेर बाहिर चाहिँ यसो मिले जसो देखाएर मात्रै हुँदैन।
आफ्नो भागमा आफ्नो शुभेच्छुकलाई कसरी पुर्याउन सकिन्छ भन्ने मानसिकता देखिया हुनाले।
Sports News.
Welcome back. The Cricket Association of Nepal, CAN, has appointed Dipendra Singh Airi as the vice captain of the national cricket team. The association has also announced the final 15-member squad for the Tri-Nation Series between Scotland and the Netherlands under the ICC World Cup League 2, which will be held in Scotland in June. Previously, CAN had removed then-captain Gyanendra Molla and vice-captain Dipendra Singh Airi from their positions on charges of violating discipline and had appointed Sandeep Lamichhane as captain. However, after Lamichhane became entangled in legal issues, CAN suspended him and appointed Rohit Paudel as captain. Since the disciplinary action against Gyanendra and Dipendra, CAN had not appointed a new vice-captain, but now after 3.5 years, the Nepali team once again has a vice-captain. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.